If you Google what is the greatest painting in the world, one of the top options is Las Meninas. But why is his foot on the dog? Who are the people in the scene? And are we supposed to focus on this mirror reflection at the back of the room that doesn't actually look like a mirror reflection at all? Or is the whole painting a reflection of a mirror? These are some of the reasons that the longer you look at Diego Velazquez's Las Meninas, created in 1656, the more questions arise and the more mysterious it becomes. But let's delve into the world of Las Meninas and discover some of its mysteries. One of the most prominent interpretations of the painting is that it is also a representation of the Spanish court and the role of the artist in society. The characters in the painting, arranged diagonally, draws the viewer's eye from the back of the room to the front, with the princess at the center as the focal point. The first mystery is the mirror at the back of the room. Is this King Philip and Queen Mariana reflected? It is a truly unique perspective on a royal portrait and groundbreaking work by Velazquez. Instead of looking at the king and queen, we are seeing the world from their point of view, a one-of-a-kind perspective of a royal court. The painting also indicates the relationship between the artist and the family. By including the king and queen in the reflection, Velazquez presents himself as someone who had intimate access to the royal family and therefore an important figure at the court. But why? If we go back to the year 1622, Velazquez caught the eye of one of King Philip's advisors, a poet called Luis de Gongora, while he was working in Seville. The official court painter died that year, and so Velazquez was asked to come to Madrid to create a new portrait of the new king, King Philip, the following year. When the monarch viewed the portrait, he was so pleased with Velazquez's work that he was appointed as the new court painter, a position he held for 38 years, until his death at the age of 61. Throughout Velazquez's career, he painted subjects that communicated their inner lives and personalities so that the viewer feels as though they are engaging in a conversation with the person depicted. For example, in this portrait, called A Spanish Gentleman, it feels like you are looking at the real person on the wall who is looking back at you with a sense of communication and dialogue flowing between you and the painted figure. There is strong use of diagonal lines in the composition to direct the viewer's eye around the canvas. These lines guide the viewer's eye to the Infanta Margarita in the center foreground, with the king and queen reflected in the mirror just behind her in the background. She is the focal point of the painting as she looks directly at us. She was about 5 years old at the time, and her ladies in waiting, or Las Meninas, surround her. On her left, it looks like she is about to make a curtsy, and on her right, the maid drops to her knees, offering a refreshing drink on a tray. It's a delightful scene that draws you in, with everyone dressed in their finest. However, her gaze is not directly to the ladies in waiting, but is fixed directly outwards towards us. But is she looking at her mother and father, the king and queen, or is she looking into a mirror? And what we see is a reflection of the scene itself. And at the back of the room, it might not be a reflection of a mirror, but a lost portrait painting of the king and queen. It has also been suggested that Velazquez is painting a portrait of the king and queen coming to visit her during the painting process. However, the size of the canvas the artist is working on would not have been used for a portrait of one of the royal children. Velazquez had worked as a royal portraitist for over 30 years by the time he painted Las Meninas, and over all of those years he painted many official portraits. However, This painting does not fit in with the official style or conventions of a royal portrait of the Infanta. For example, when portraying the young prince, Balthazar Carlos, in this painting, aged about 5 or 6, he is shown mastering a fully grown horse. He is the image of a future king, and this is the kind of image that would have been sent to various parts of the kingdom to show how the young prince was being prepared to become a king. This is clearly an official portrait, whereas Las Meninas is not. On the right-hand side of the painting, you can see the court dwarf Barbola from Germany and Petrusato from Italy, as he puts his foot on the back of the sleeping dog, trying to wake it up. This is no ordinary dog. It is a Spanish Mastiff that were bred to go hunting, which was a favourite pastime of the king. Dwarfs played a significant role in the court of King Philip IV, and Velazquez made sure to represent their importance by painting numerous portraits of them throughout his life. Velazquez was not only a court painter for the king, but also a diplomat and a curator of the royal art collection, making him a vital part of the court's cultural life. In this painting, we see him immersed in his work, standing at his canvas on its easel, creating a painting. This painting that we are looking at, Las Meninas. And we know that we are in Velazquez's studio in the Royal Alcazar of Madrid, which is now destroyed, but once served as the residence of the Spanish royal family. On Velazquez's chest is a red cross, which is the emblem of the Order of Santiago, a very prestigious religious military group founded in the 12th century. It was extremely difficult to join, but due to his close relationship with the king, he was accepted in 1659. Some art historians have speculated that he added the cross to his chest later, but recent conservation studies have shown that the cross has always been there. Some people have also speculated that Velazquez made the painting after he was knighted by the order to show his new role to the world. This is one of the most celebrated paintings in the history of European art, and some think that it might be the greatest painting of all time. Unlike traditional portraiture or genre scenes, Las Meninas doesn't tell a clear story. It captures a moment in time that seems candid and unstaged and full of motion. It is more about the act of seeing and being seen than about conveying a simple message. Velazquez is essentially painting a painting about the act of painting, something that is centuries ahead of its time. It invites you into a space that feels both intimate and theatrical and full of mystery, and you are never quite sure who is observing who. What a genius work of art. Leave your thoughts about the painting below and subscribe to The Lives of the Artists for more new videos and podcasts every week.